morning everyone. Welcome to class 22 Moving Charges and Magnetism part 5. Let me revise the topics what we have studied up to now. We have studied about Oersted experiment, observations of Oersted experiment, direction of magnetic field generated by the current carrying conductor that can be decided by right hand thumb rule, Ampere's swimming rule and Maxwell's corkscrew rule. Magnitude of magnetic field generated by the current carrying conductor of any shape using Biot and Savart's law. Applications of Biot and Savart's law in that magnetic field due to a straight wire, magnetic field along the axis of circular current carrying coil, and in second class we studied about how to determine the direction of magnetic field after application of Biot and Savart's law. Detailed explanation of magnetic field along the axis of circular current carrying coil, and applications of Biot and Savart's law for different current carrying structures. Ampere circuital law and proof of Ampere circuital law, and a difference between Ampere's law, Ampere circuital law and Biot-Savart's law. In the third class we studied about applications of Ampere circuital law in that solenoid, magnetic field due to a solenoid, magnetic field due to toroid, force experienced by a charged particle placed in the magnetic field, direction of force acting on the charged particle by using Fleming's left hand rule, behavior of charged particle in magnetic field, cyclotron, its construction, working and theory behind the working of cyclotron, and finally uses of cyclotron. In class 4 we studied about definition of magnetic field from force experienced by the charged particle, force experienced by the current carrying conductor placed in the magnetic field, force between two straight parallel current carrying conductors, torque experienced by the current carrying loop placed in the magnetic field, moving coil galvanometer, its construction, working, in that current sensitivity and voltage sensitivity of the galvanometer, factors affecting the current sensitivity and voltage sensitivity, and finally conversion of galvanometer into ammeter and voltmeter. One or two topics I left over in this unit, especially magnetic moment generated by the revolving electron, that we will discuss in the topic magnetism and matter, because that totally depends on the topic of magnetism, parameters relating to this magnetism. So we can discuss that particular topic, magnetic moment generated by the revolving electron, in magnetism and matter topic. Another topic is relation between magnetic field generated by bar magnet and solenoid. That also we can discuss in magnetism and matter topic. So with this major part of this unit is over. We are now going to do the numericals practice questions for this unit. So before going to start the practice questions, let us see the equations we came across in this unit up to now. So this is the force experienced by the charged particle in magnetic field, which can be given by Lorentz force. So please go through all these equations once before start doing this exercise practice questions. Every equation is given in detail here. Please go through these questions once, equations once, before going to start doing the exercise. So these are second set of equations. in this topic, magnetic field generated along the axis of circular current carrying loop in terms of magnetic moment. This equation I will explain while doing magnetism and matter. So altogether 26 questions, 26 equations are there in this unit. Please go through all these 26 equations before starting this exercise practice questions. So in this class I have given 15 practice questions. Each and every question I will give a hint and answer also I have given. So try to do on your own. So the first one is the narrow stream of protons and neutrons having the same momentum values enters a region of uniform magnetic field directed perpendicular to their common direction of motion. What would be the ratio of radii of circular path described by the proton and neutron? Protons and neutrons. Here momentum of that charged particles remains same. So you are asked to calculate ratio of radii. So before going to start doing this, recollect the equation for radius of a charged particle moving in the magnetic field. So what is the equation for radius is given is in this case the equation for radius is r is equal to mv by bq. Here momentum remains constant and magnetic field also remains constant. So here radius inversely proportional to the charge of the particle. Proton means 1 unit positive charge and neutron means 2 units of positive charge. So if you calculate the ratio you will get the answer 2:1. In the next slide the answer is given in details. Just go through that slide once. Second one, a rectangular loop of side 25 centimeters and 10 centimeters. The longer one is having 25 centimeters and the shorter one is having 10 centimeters. Carrying a current of 15 amperes is placed with its longer side parallel to the long straight conductor 2 centimeters apart, carrying a current of 25 amperes. What is the net force acting on the loop? So here two current carrying conductors are given, which are separated with a distance of 2 centimeters in the first case, and another set of conductors separated with a distance of 12 centimeters. So here you have to use the formula F is equal to mu naught I1 I2 L by 2 pi d. That equation you have to apply and you have to find out the net force experienced by this current carrying loop. Here you will get mu naught I1 I2 means mu naught into 15 into 25 by 2 pi into 2 centimeters, and another F is equal to mu naught 25 into 15 into the length is 25 centimeters, 25 by 2 pi into 12 centimeters. So after getting the force values you have to subtract shorter one from the longer one. The answer in that case you will get is 7.812 into 10 power minus 10 Newton. So try to do on your own and try to get this answer. If you are getting different answer, just try to do one more time, then you can cross check with this answer. Another one, a moving coil galvanometer has a resistance of 10 ohms and produces a full scale deflection current of 25 milliamperes. How can the instrument be adopted to measure voltmeter up to 120 volts and current up to 20 amperes? Here the resistance of the galvanometer is given as 10 ohms and current flowing through the galvanometer is given by 25 milliamperes. So here Ig is 25 milliamperes and G means galvanometer resistance is 10 ohms. Here you have to convert the galvanometer into voltmeter to measure 120 volts. So for that there is an equation R is equal to V by Ig minus G. Use that equation. You will get the voltmeter to measure a range. The resistance value will be 4790 ohms and current shunt resistance S is equal to Ig into G by I minus Ig. If you use that equation, then you will get the shunt required to connect parallel to the galvanometer to get to convert the galvanometer into ammeter will be 12.5 into 10 power minus 2 ohms. So try to do and check out with these answers given here. So as I said, this is the way of doing the solution for first one. So try to do second one answer and third one answer. So this is another important concept relating to symmetric structures, which can be calculated using the application of Biot and Savart's law. Here current is flowing in this direction for this straight wire. After that it is crossing almost a circular path, and after that it is leaving away from this path in a straight line. So here there is no angle given, and almost this straight wire reaches to the other end, and before reaching that one it is completing a circular path. So here you have to consider the case where the current flowing through the straight wire and as well as the current flowing through the circular path. So here the combination of two structures we have to consider. So do we have to apply the equation for magnetic field due to this straight wire and the magnetic field due to this circular part. And finally, after calculating the magnitude of magnetic field, determine the direction of the magnetic field. If it is opposite, then apply this difference in the magnetic field values. If they are in same direction for both the cases, then you can apply addition to that magnetic field value. So options are given, try to check out for the given options. Next one, solenoid. A 25 centimeter solenoid has 1800 loops and a diameter of 3 centimeters. Calculate the magnetic field in the air core of the solenoid when a current of 1.25 amperes is flowing. Here a number of turns is given 1800 and the length of the solenoid is 25 centimeters. So the equation for magnetic field generated by the solenoid will be B is equal to mu naught Ni, where N is the number of turns per unit length. So first of all calculate the N value, and after calculating the N value substitute that N value in that mu naught Ni. B is equal to mu naught Ni. Then you will get the magnetic field value. So the answer for this question is here given, it is given here. Next one, an electron experiences an upward force of 7.1 into 10 power minus 14 Newton when it is traveling 2.7 into 10 power 5 meter per second south towards the magnetic field. What is the magnitude and direction of the magnetic field? Here velocity is given and force is given, and electron, charge of the electron, you can find the charge of the electron anywhere. So 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. Everything is given. You are asked to find out the magnitude and direction of the magnetic field. So you can apply F is equal to BQV. From that you can find out the direction of magnetic field. From that you can get the magnitude of magnetic field, and after getting that magnitude of magnetic field, apply Fleming's left hand rule to find out the direction of magnetic field. So the answer will be 1.6 Tesla towards west. Next one, a charge of 8 microcoulomb moving with a velocity of 2I plus 3J meter per second. Here velocity is given in terms of vector form, enters into a magnetic field of 6I plus 9J. Find the force acting on the charged particle. Again here also you have to apply F is equal to BQV sin theta, or F is equal to Q into V bar cross B bar. So apply cross product between velocity and magnetic field, then find out the force acting on the charged particle. The answer here you have to get is 0. Next one, a straight wire carries a current of 3 amperes in upward direction. Calculate the magnitude of magnetic field at the point 15 centimeters away from the wire. So draw the diagram to show the direction of magnetic field and current. So I think this is a very basic question which you have already done in lower classes. So try to do. Here answer I am not giving. So try to find on your own and get the answer. Drawing the direction of magnetic lines of force along that conductor is very easy for you. So try to do. Next one, calculate the force per unit length of a long straight wire carrying a current of 4 amperes due to a parallel wire carrying a current of 6 amperes in the same direction. If the distance between the wires is 3 centimeters from the 3 centimeters, find the nature of the force also. Here you have to apply force per unit length. So no need to consider L value. So force per unit length means F is equal to mu naught I1 I2 by 2 pi d. So find out the force and nature of the force. When two current carrying conductors are placed parallel to each other and the current flowing in the same direction, then the force will be whatever the type of force it is. So already I have given the hint. So try to find out the magnitude and direction of the force. So here 10th question is write the dimensional formula for mu naught. So you are asked to find out the dimensional formula for permeability. So you can apply any one method to find out the dimensions for any one equation you can apply to find out the dimensions for mu naught and write the dimensions. Next one, an electron of kinetic energy 25 kilo electron volts moves perpendicular to the direction of uniform magnetic field of 0.2 millitesla. Calculate the time period of rotation of the electron in the magnetic field. So here it is related to cyclotron concept. So apply take out the equation for time period of rotation of the electron and apply that equation in this. The charge of the electron, again here I am saying the charge of the electron is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb and mass of the electron is 9.1 into 10 power minus 31 kg. So apply these two and try to find out the time period of the rotation of the electron. Here the calculation part, it will take very long time, so better you can do leisurely. It is a very important concept relating to this board examination and as well as this entrance examinations. So you have to do the calculation part on your own. Next one, a circular coil of wire consisting of 100 turns, each of radius 8 centimeters, carries a current of 0.4 amperes. What is the magnitude of the magnetic field B at the center of the coil? Here you have to apply the concept of magnetic field at the center of the coil. Already we know the equation for calculating the magnetic field at the center of the coil, which is going to be B is equal to mu naught Ni by 2R. Here N is the number of turns in the coil. So apply that equation and try to find out the equation answer for this question, magnetic field at the center of the coil. The answer you have to get is 8.1 into 10 power minus 2 Newton. So the magnitude of magnetic field at the center of the coil will be 3.14 into 10 power minus 4 Tesla. Previously I did a wrong calculation. So this is the correct answer for this. So the magnetic field at the center of the coil having 100 turns and radius of 8 centimeters, carrying a current of 4 amperes, will be 3.14 into 10 power minus 4 Tesla. Next one, a horizontal overhead power line carries a current of 90 amperes in east to west direction. What is the magnitude and direction of magnetic field due to this current 1.5 meters below the line? So you have to apply the equation for a straight current carrying conductor, one of the application of Biot and Savart's law, and you have to find out the magnitude of the magnetic field. After getting the magnitude of the magnetic field, apply right hand thumb rule to determine the direction of that magnetic field. Here also I am not giving the answer, so try to do on your own and get this answer. Already this type of question I have given previously, so apply the same formula and try to get the answer. 14th one, a 3 centimeter wire carrying a current of 10 amperes is placed inside a solenoid perpendicular to its axis. The magnetic field inside the solenoid is given by 0.27 Tesla. What is the magnetic force on the wire? Here the wire is placed perpendicular to the axis of the solenoid. So already if the current is flowing in the solenoid, it can generate magnetic field, and that magnetic field can affect the wire which is carrying a current of 10 amperes. So you are asked to find out the force experienced by that wire when placed in the solenoid. So you have to apply the equation F is equal to BIL sin theta. Here theta is 90 degrees. So if you apply that equation, then you will get the answer for this force as 8.1 into 10 power minus 2 Newton. And the direction of force can be calculated by applying Fleming's left hand rule. And last one, explain the theory behind the working of cyclotron. So derive all the equations relating to this cyclotron, like time period, frequency, radius, velocity, and finally kinetic energy of the particle moving in the cyclotron. So these are the questions I want to give as a practice for you. So try to do all these questions. If any doubt is there in these questions, just fill up that query sheet, then so that I can clarify these doubts. In the next class, I am going to start this exercise questions for this moving charges and magnetism. With that, the topic will be over. Thank you.